Post Malone. That is Wow. It is Listen, It's Liz. And in studio with me, it is time for the Slocum Dixon Medical Moment with Slocum Dixon Medical Group. Adrienne, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I feel like it's been a whirlwind of everything going on because you guys were a huge part of the Heart Run and Walk.
The Heart Run and Walk. Yeah, and February ends up being such a short month. So everything it goes
all of a
by,
sudden.
and then it's March, and then
And then all of a sudden it's summer, and we're all like,
well, that's
just
good though.
Yeah, no, that is a good thing. That is a good problem to have for sure. And there's a lot of things going down at Slocum Dixon Medical Group. Make sure you're checking out sdmg.com, also Burstone Road in New Hartford. But what are we talking about this month?
So this month is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, a very important month. Dr. Sichter will talk about it, but it's unfortunately it's one of those cancers that you can do something about. You can be proactive in finding it and preventing it and treating it. So I think it's a really important message for us to get out there to people.
For sure. So why don't you introduce who you brought with you today?
Yeah, so today we have one of our oncologists, Dr. Sichter, with us.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about colon cancer and just explain, is it preventable? Like she said, we can actually help ourselves before we get it?
Absolutely. So colorectal cancer is one of the most important cancers that we have to deal with. It is the third most common cancer, but second biggest killer among all the cancers. In the
Really?
country. Yep.
Okay.
So it's estimated that about over 135,000 people were diagnosed with colon cancer last year alone. So it is a big deal.
Yeah.
And as you guys correctly pointed out, that it is a potentially preventable cancer.
I think that's crazy that it's preventable, but you said it's like the second,
second
that's
most
crazy.
fatal cancers that we know. In fact, every year the CDC sends out this circular to everyone saying that, how is your community doing? How's your state doing? And unfortunately, New York State actually hasn't done that well compared to even a few years ago.
Yeah.
So there are fewer people who are getting screening done for a preventable cancer.
Really? Okay, so what age should you be going for screening?
So standard for someone who has standard risk colon cancer, just like an average American, age 50, but in certain populations, for example, African Americans or someone who has a family history of colon cancer, they should start screening a little earlier.
Okay, so if they do the screenings, but is there symptoms to it? Because how do you know when it's time?
Correct. So the way you know when to do screening is when your doctor tells you to do it. So you may not have any symptoms, right?
Okay.
So remember, we don't do any screening on people who have symptoms. These are all asymptomatic people. They come in, they're like, Doc, I'm here just for my routine exam. And the doctor tells them, hey, listen, you got to get the colon cancer screening done.
Which is why people need to be regularly checked by their doctors, because you never know what's going to happen or what should be recommended to you.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if someone does have any symptoms, then obviously they need to see their doctor again and say, hey, look, I'm having, one of the many symptoms that can present with colorectal cancer. For example, changes in bowel habits, blood in the stool, constipation, diarrhea, change in the caliber of the stool, for example, or anything abnormal.
Yeah, anything that just is not fun either to deal with.
Right.
If your body is not feeling good, you should get it checked out.
And you guys also pointed out that it's one of those things that we don't really talk about that much because, when it comes to our colon habits and stuff, we don't like to discuss it with a lot of people.
Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
should bring this up to the physicians. A lot of times, when I was younger, my doctors will ask me, so everything is okay down there? And you're like, okay.
Yeah, right.
And that's it. You stop at it.
You're like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if there is a question and there is something going on, absolutely bring it up and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. The other thing is, if you do have a family history of colorectal cancer, mention this to the physician and then they can be proactive as well.
Okay, so for people that are younger, say I'm 26, so if there is it in my family, it's a good idea to go get screened for it. But for people of my age, is it normal? Is there a rise with the amount of people who are getting diagnosed with it?
To a certain extent, yes. And is mainly because we're probably picking up the cancer rather than that the cancer incidence has increased. Meaning that, because we do more screening tests, in general than we did, let's say, a couple of decades ago, we may be able to pick up very early stage colon cancer.
Okay.
The good thing is someone of your age who unfortunately may have early stage cancer, if you treat them early, they can be cured with a very high success rate.
Right. All the details on this, sdmg.com, at Burstone Road in New Hartford. If something just doesn't feel right, especially after you hear this, you're like, oh, maybe that does sound like something I should get checked out. Make sure you are heading to your doctor to get it diagnosed or at least to talk to them about it. And Adrienne, you have everything everything.
Yeah,
at
we have
Slocum-Dixon.
everything right there. So, to go about colon cancer. So, we have your primary care physicians at Slocum-Dixon. So, if you're looking for one of those, you visit our website. We have several that are taking new patients. We have gastroenterology. Those are the people that we typically do in your colonoscopy if you needed it. And then we have oncology. Dr. Sichter is one of 3 oncologists that we have at Slocum-Dixon. So, we have all those services right under one roof. And, so really, like you said, it's important to get a primary care physician, be on top of your screenings and stay healthy.
Yeah, that is very important. That's why we have the Slocum-Dixon Medical Moment to make sure that we stay healthy throughout the year. Thank you guys so much for coming in this morning. This is a really important topic, especially because you say it is a preventable cancer that we should be getting screened to make sure we prevent it. Slocum-Dixon Medical Group, SDMG.com for all of the information. And until next month, we'll see you then.
Turn it up. Turn it.
All the hits, all morning long. More Listen to Liz next on Kiss FM.